Hey folks, Mark Pellegrino here with Crestron Electronics. We're on the InfoComm 2022 show floor. Excited to see what looks like about 20 or 30,000 people back at it. And we're going to start talking a bit about some of the products that we're showing here on the show floor. For the past few years, you've seen Crestron innovating in the smaller spaces where we have our Mercuries and the Flex lineup with sound bars and various other products to make it very simple and cost effective to roll out small and medium spaces. Here, we're showcasing our Sightline concept. The concept behind Sightline is really the core competency of Crestron. This is what we've been doing for years and years. We've integrated all the necessary pieces within the environment to create excellent user experiences. With the addition of intelligent video to our lineup through the acquisition of the One Beyond camera technologies, we can now offer front row in Teams and in Zoom. Individual faces will show up on the camera or on the screen so that you can see body language. You can better understand what's happening on the far side. Additionally, we've riddled cameras and displays throughout the Sightline room to ensure that no matter where you're sitting in that space, there is good sightline, good eye contact between the people in the room and the remote participants. With the acquisition of the One Beyond technology, we now have the ability to scale intelligent video from very small spaces to the very largest of spaces. We have static cameras, we have auto tracking PTZ, auto framing PTZ, we have the dual camera Hawk. With some of the cancellations of other products in market, the Hawk is a logical choice for intelligent video. It actually has an integrated microphone for tracking of the speaker in the room, and because there's two cameras, I can have a shot on one of the participants and pan tilt zoom the other camera, and that all happens automatically, and then it switches automatically. Finally, we can take a number of cameras and stitch them together using the Automate VX, and that basically adds to a number of PTZ cameras, production style switching based on who is talking in the room. We can highlight presentation areas, we can highlight particular speakers, and we can turn off the automation if need be and control it from the touchscreen in the room. What's happening here, again, is not really new to Crestron. These types of innovation in large spaces is our bailiwick. This is what we've been doing since the dawn of Crestron 50 years ago. Here, we're showing an innovative approach to execution of unified communications using multiple cameras, multiple displays in a single room. Here we're showcasing our scheduling panels. This is not necessarily a new product for Crestron, but as always, we've innovated on top of this hardware platform by adding a number of scheduling partners. The advantage here is, should an organization choose to change the scheduling platform, in many instances, they'll have to rip and replace all of the hardware. With Crestron, that's not necessary. You can actually flip the mode of the panel between the various vendors. We have about 23 of them. We're showing 6 here on the show floor. Additionally, we've enhanced our accessory offering. We now have an RFID badge reader. It's compatible with thousands of different access cards. And essentially, the workflow for that badge swipe is built into the software. So with 22 miles, when you badge, the software has the workflow to check users into the room. Or if you've maybe got sensitive information in a presentation, you can actually build a workflow that will keep the door locked until the meeting organizer has showed up in the room. There's lots of interesting things that you can do with the RFID, be it in an app, or really it's just an RFID reader. So if you want to take that number from the badge and build a workflow behind it through custom programming, hey, it's Crestron. Do what you want. All right, folks, here we are at the Xio Cloud Demonstration. What I really love about this demo here is that we've got all of the hardware from the show floor aggregated back into Xio Cloud. We can manage all of the pieces, we can control all of the touchscreens, and in fact, we even executed or rolled out some of this hardware by provisioning it through Xio Cloud. This is our cloud management software. It is built in Microsoft's Azure IoT Hub. It is absolutely the most secure cloud available in the industry. If your organization is comfortable using tools like O365, that's Azure. This is built in the same environment and allows you to manage Crestron hardware, firmware updates, ensuring that programming's on the right version, checking status of devices, and we've even built in some reporting and analytics so you can get data back on how these systems are being used. So over my shoulder here, you'll see so much excitement around virtual control that we can't even get to the demo. I'll tell you a bit about what's exciting. Number one, we've changed the pricing model. There was a lot of complexity around which SKU to buy and when. We've simplified that. It's one SKU. If you need a control processor for a room and you want to do that virtually, that's a VC4 room, and you're off to the races. There's also a 90-day demo, so if you want to try it to become familiar, build some comfort, that's absolutely available to you, and I highly recommend it. The beauty of VC4 is that it's not really at the mercy of supply chain. So if you're waiting for control processors, you might want to take a look at VC4 because it is shipping today. One of the limitations that we heard from customers, because we are always innovating based on the feedback that we get, was that VC4 needed to be programmed in Simple Sharp. We've changed that. We've opened it up to simple windows, and so now most Crestron programmers can custom program VC4, and if you don't want to use custom programming, you can actually run it with AV Framework, our web-based configuration. So here we are at our DM wall. We're showing both NVX AV over IP and a traditional DM HDBaseT switching fabric. Really, we're showcasing the scalability of the platform. What's new to the show floor this year is, if you were familiar with some of the first generations of NVX, those are still available, and they are better today because of firmware than they were when you bought them. What we've done is we've brought out some new products to address some perceived competition in market. We've heard from customers that they're being told, oh, you don't need an NVX for that, use this box over here, and then they discover that it's not full 4K, maybe it's only 1080p streaming. And so what we've done is we've defeatured some of the NVX. It's still NVX, still the same great FPGA, still the incredible firmware, but we've brought out some lower cost boxes for lower cost applications. As an example, here we have a document camera. A document camera is only a 1080p source at best. So why spend the money to get a 4K 60 444 transmitter? We now have a 1080p transmitter. We also have a 4K 30 or a 4K 60 420 transmitter as well in the lineup. We're showing that here. We've also added, very exciting, a 2-gang transmitter for NVX. That's a wall plate 2-gang transmitter, basically power over Ethernet. You plug it in and you've got an HDMI input to the NVX bus. So much excitement here at the booth again. We can't exactly get to the demo. We're going to wait for the people to clear out. But anybody who's heard me talking about Crestron NVX has heard me say that NVX is really software. We've made it convenient, and we run it on an appliance, the NVX 360 or one of the new products. What we're showing here is that software running on an Intel chip. So behind this massive crowd of people is an Intel PC with a big fat GPU in it, and we are sending 4 4K streams right from that computer onto the network to create this 4K or 8K video wall. We've got 4 receivers, 1 receiver at each display, and the 8K signals coming from the Intel computer being displayed up on the displays using NVX. That software should be shipping by the end of the year and will allow people to install an NVX encoder or decoder right onto a computer. Again, continuing to innovate within the DM line, we have the Digital Media Lite product. Our whole DM Lite lineup, 23 SKUs, are getting revamped. New chipsets and new features and functions. So let's not overcomplicate this. Point-to-point transmission on that side. I've got a bunch of transmitters and a bunch of receivers, different I/O, depending on whether I need video or audio breakout or control. We've even got new USB-C transmitters. These will be released in 2 phases. The first phase of products coming in July will include USB-C video and power. And these boxes actually have 60-watt power on each of the USB-C ports. Later in the year, you'll see the balance of our USB-C product come, and that will include USB 2.0 routing and distribution on the same platform. Over here, we have our new HDPS presentation switchers. These are effectively the replacements for DMPS. You could take this and pair it, in fact, with VC4 and get your classrooms rolled out this summer. These have been built with some supply chain resiliency. They are readily available and shipping in a much, much shorter lead time than some of the other products here on the show floor. So again, if you're looking to get your summer installs executed, the HDPS lineup of product or DMMD or HDMD product is definitely worth a look. They do work out of the box. They have built-in scalers, auto switching, they have audio breakaway capabilities. They do work out of the box, like I said, but if you wanted to custom program them or run AV framework on them, you can absolutely do that by using VC4 or a regular control processor. Apparently, I'm not the only one who's really excited to see Crestron commercial lighting back on the InfoComm show floor here with new leadership at the helm. We definitely see the value in the broader ecosystem, which includes commercial lighting at the base building. What we're showing here in the commercial lighting section of our booth is the Crestron Zoom lighting environment. This is basically a configurable type of environment. We have wired and wireless control boxes for distributing your lighting. And we also have DIN rail enclosures for the European market and or for mixed load dimming and control. So I can have, if I need 0 to 10 volts and or DALI and or different types of control to distribute from an electrical room, we now have the DIN rails. It's all run off of the Zoom floor hub. It manages the system and allows for people to configure the environment using an app on their mobile device, kind of like you see up here on the board. Here we're showcasing the scalability of Crestron's Flex Unified Communications platform. We start at the desktop with Teams audio or Teams display devices. Here we're showing the P8 and the P10. This is a full Teams experience. This allows you to offload from your laptop some meetings that maybe you don't need to participate in as intensely as others. I know for me, a lot of times I'm sitting in review meetings where they're talking about ceiling tiles or carpet tiles, has nothing to do with the AV. I don't really need to have that taking up graphical real estate on my screen, so I'll offload that onto my Teams display phone. It also supports hot desking. So in an environment where people are returning to the office, this can assist that strategy in allowing users to book the space and check into that space once they get there. All they need to do is enter their credentials into the display, and the desk becomes theirs for the day. For anybody who has a P8 or P10 with video today, you can actually upgrade that to the new Teams Display firmware, and you'll be running Teams Display. Again, that is one of the best Crestron advantages in market. Our products continue to get better through firmware, and that firmware is free and included with the purchase of the product. So from the desktop, we move up to the Mercury Mini. Here, we're showing, again, the Crestron Flex environment running a Zoom room, a Zoom meeting, and we're doing that through the Mercury Mini. Mercury Mini was born of feedback from market. We had tremendous success with the Mercury product, which I hope you're familiar with. And the feedback from customers was it'd be great if it came in a slightly smaller form factor for smaller rooms like huddle spaces, such as the one we have here. And so, again, bringing to market what customers are asking for with the Mercury Mini. Again, continuing along the scalability of our platform from the very smallest to the medium spaces, or into this type of medium or large space. Here we are showing a tabletop touchscreen with a Flex system. And in this Flex system, we've got the Panicast 50 from our great partner Jabra. Lots of intelligent video features here. It does support front row, so we can get the individual people. And another cool feature with this camera, if there's a whiteboard in the room, it will chisel out that whiteboard as its own separate video feed as well. Hey folks, here we're talking about the Air Media. We've got 3 new flavors available, the AM3100, the 3200, and those come with or without Wi-Fi. Somebody's taking our demo here. It's being passed around. I called the 3100 the cheap and cheerful, and I called the 3200 the integrator kit. It has the I/O for audio, control, various things that typically you'd see an integrator access. We're also showing our new TX100, which is the Air Media Connect adapter. This is a USB-C adapter that I'm going to find as we make our way over so I can show you. But effectively, it allows the user to plug a USB-C connection into their laptop, and that will then transmit wirelessly into the system. Now, the advantage that we have in market with our USB-C is that when you plug in the USB-C, it actually asks for USB-C video. It's not USB-C data. That's really important because many organizations have security protocols around the USB connector where you need authentication, or that USB port has been disabled altogether, pardon me. And so by asking for USB-C video, we are able to circumvent that limitation. We're also showing, super excited about this new product. It's called the AMTX3 200. And this is for emulating a wired experience at the table. So you've got a customer who maybe today is used to plugging in their HDMI cable, and they want to keep that experience. They have a confidence, or that workflow is familiar to them, and so they want to continue to plug in the HDMI cable, but there's no pathway from the table up to the display. I can power up the TX3 200, and it will wirelessly transmit video up to the display. Additionally, if I connect it to the network, I can route USB. So if I've got a peripheral in the room, like we're showing the Panacast 50 here again, this USB device can be made available to any laptop that connects to the TX3 200. It can also be done directly through the Air Media and the app. So USB routing now available in addition to the wireless presentation features. Hey folks, I'm here with Michael DeBella, the product manager for digital media here at Crestron. And Michael's done an amazing job of setting up this esports demonstration where we're showing the capabilities of NVX and or for situational environments where decision making is absolutely paramount. So what we've done here is we've actually ramped up the frame rate of the video. So we're running at, Michael, is it 240 or 120? We're running at 240. We've lowered the resolution because, again, the video quality is a little less important to the people here driving the vehicles. What they're looking for is responsiveness. While we're showing esports, this could be situational awareness for police task force or military. This could be emergency operations or network control. Any type of environment where you need the lowest latency video available, NVX is your solution.